Hello and welcome. Good morning, everyone. Greetings of this lovely day to all the people who are present at 7 o'clock sharp. And I am assuming, is my video absolutely clear? Assuming, nahi, asking, is my video clear? And if you're nodding your head, matlab audio is also clear. Your video is not clear. I am waiting for that. And now, we are now going to move to the most important aspect of our chapter, double taxation relief. Quick piece of news, we are doing a chapter called double taxation relief. For providing this relief, there is going to be an agreement, a treaty, a convention. These are three names of the same thing. The agreement will be between two countries. Whenever an assessee is resident of one country and has source in another country, he will suffer juridical double taxation, for which relief will be provided. For the second thing, economic double taxation, where different people pay tax on the same income, there is no relief. Double taxation ka relief is given only under juridical double taxation, where the same person on the same income is getting taxed twice. For this, you should also remember the all important global concept. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax, most important aspect of DTAA chapter. Principle of residence levied by the home country and principle of source levied by the host country. Under the relief that we are providing for juridical double taxation, we have also reached the end of bilateral relief. If you remember bilateral relief, two countries sit together, calculation will be different. We will study the common points. Hello, relief from double taxation, exchange of information, non-discrimination clause, tax credit method, tax exemption method. The entire concept of bilateral is over. And we now go to the second part of the chapter, that is the screen visible? Unilateral relief under section 91. बहुत simple है, very simple. Those who are present right now get your 6 marks minimum. It can go up to 8. And those who are not attending this are taking a big risk. Okay. Double taxation avoidance agreement is a part of international tax. 30 marks international tax. And maximum questions on double taxation avoidance agreement ka chapter come on unilateral relief. Sir, why they don't ask questions on bilateral relief? Please get this thing clear in your head. Bilateral relief is given according to the calculation given in the treaty. Yes or no? The treaty is not a part of our portion. None of the actual treaties are a part of our portion. So if they have to ask you to calculate relief as per India-US agreement, or as per India-New Zealand agreement, or as per India-Malaysia agreement, so they have to give you that clause of that agreement. Like you did comprehension in school grammar 10th standard. There is a paragraph given. And under the paragraph, they ask you questions on this paragraph. So they give you a paragraph and they ask you questions. It does not make sense to ask questions to CA final students like that. Because they have to give you the paragraph, they avoid asking questions on this part. ऐसा नहीं कि they never ask, but 1 in 100 likelihood. As far as unilateral relief is concerned, focus. This calculation is not given in any treaty. It is not given in any agreement or convention. You do not have to open a separate document to calculate this. Unilateral relief ka calculation is given in the Income Tax Act in section 91. Is it a part of the Income Tax Act itself, the calculation, section 91? Yes, sir. And is Income Tax Act a part of our portion? Yes, sir. And thus it only makes sense to ask you questions on this. Double taxation relief ka question will come in almost every exam. And 1 in 100 chances of bilateral, 99% cases, the question is going to be on unilateral relief. 99% cases. Okay. And thus this is a very important concept. As I said, those who are present are going to get minimum 6. You are securing 8 marks also. Sometimes it is observed that unilateral relief ka question has come in paper 6 and 7 both. This full chapter is word to word repeated. I have told you before also. Paper 6C international tax elective paper में 9 में से 7.5 chapters are already taught in DT. Only 1.5 extra chapters have to be taught. Every time there is a query, sir, 100 mark ka paper is taking 70 lectures and another paper is getting over in 3 lectures because only 1.5 chapter has to be taught. That's the reason. And sometimes it is seen that this same sum comes in both papers. And therefore, some of you at least, whose target, maybe, see, that's your choice, what to take, what not to take. You all are the best people to decide for yourself. But in case you finally go to international tax elective, then this becomes double important for you. Okay? So take it very, very seriously. Whenever there is non-cooperation between the two governments, while discussing the meaning of bilateral, unilateral itself, we had the opportunity to discuss this also. Whenever there is non-cooperation between both governments. What kind of non-cooperation? I spoke about North Korea ka guy, if you remember. What are the cases or likelihood, possibilities of non-cooperation? Modi ji called, he did not answer. That's a non-cooperation. Present day, modern day circumstances, no world leader will do that. Supposingly he answered, but he is not giving meeting time. Supposingly the meeting took place. This is the most likely, most likely. Meeting took place. We sat across a table. We negotiated. But we could not come to a conclusion. Terms and conditions. In Marathi we say, no, jamnar nahi ho. Sorry. Not comfortable. Sorry, it is not going to work between you and me. Is it possible that the two countries are not arriving at a conclusion and are not able to enter into a treaty? That means there is non-cooperation between the two governments. In such cases, listen carefully. Listen. We will not be able to do any tax, we will not be able to do or give you any relief with respect to the tax that you have paid in the foreign country. Do you remember the example 30 plus 40 equal to 70? Assessee who was a resident in India, income in Italy, income ka amount was 100, tax in India 30, tax in Italy 40. If there was a treaty and there was cooperation, then both governments will together give you relief from the total. But if there is no cooperation, please listen carefully, then this is not in our control. We can't do anything about this. This you will have to pay because that government is not cooperating. We can't do anything. This is what we are taking from you. Yes or no? This is what we are taking. We will try to give you some benefit from this. From this 30. And that benefit will be called unilateral relief. When there is no cooperation and only government of India reduces something from its own tax liability, that is unilateral. Listen now. मैं क्या बोलता हूं? You are not getting any relief from 40 because there is no cooperation. But government of India is willing to give you relief from 30. Are you still getting relief from 70? Is your 70 still reduced to a lower liability? So bus, we are getting our tax relief. We are interested in getting relief from our total liability. This will be given to us by government of India. For the purpose of getting this relief, we cannot go to the calculation part first. First, you need to satisfy some conditions. Unilateral relief will be given only to those assessees who are satisfying the following conditions. Once you know the conditions, then we can go and learn the calculation of unilateral relief. First the conditions, then the calculation. Relief will be given only if you fulfill the conditions. Mitro, understood, no? So, supposingly, I fulfill conditions, then I go to the calculation. If I don't fulfill the conditions, I don't go and learn the calculation. Do you understand that? For unilateral relief, 4 conditions are prescribed. A, B, C, D. 4 conditions. Condition A is a condition. Condition B, C and D are comedy. Are you comedy me? Condition B, C and D are not conditions. They are comedy. They are time pass. They are only for your and my entertainment. If today, at the end of the concept of unilateral relief, you have to take home something from this classroom. You have to understand the concept of unilateral relief. You have to take home something for exam purposes. If you want to secure your minimum 6 up to 8 marks of unilateral relief, and it can be double if your elective is international tax. If today you have to take home something, then ladies and gentlemen, this is the most important aspect of unilateral relief. Give it as many stars as you want. Decorate it as much as you want. Unilateral relief will be given only and only if the assessee is a resident. Unilateral relief will be given only and only to resident assessees. In other words, non-resident will not be eligible for unilateral relief. Mitro, when an international tax ka question will come in exam, no? It will involve residential status. Please listen. Any section you study anywhere in my syllabus, the moment the assessee is NR, that means on that section there is a stamp, international tax. Non-resident equal to international tax. Any question on non-resident equal to a question on international tax. Is that understood? They will purposely ask you a question where the assessee is non-resident, 85 years old, and there is no treaty, non-cooperation. Mitro, first of all, if assessee is non-resident, no unilateral relief. Tax will be calculated without relief. Second, even if the non-resident is 85 years old, basic exemption, 2,50,000 only. Because higher basic exemption limit is only for resident assessees, resident senior citizen, resident super senior citizen. Understood? Unilateral relief, see B, C and D I will tell you, but I have already told you they are time pass. The main condition, the only thing that you have to take home from here, if I ever ask you after today's lecture in any chapter, who gets unilateral relief? Instantly from your mouth I should hear resident. Who will get unilateral relief? Unilateral relief is only and only for assessee who is resident. Non-resident will be ineligible for unilateral relief. Is that condition clear? Sir, we have understood that unilateral relief is only for resident. But sir, why? What is the reason? What is the logic? Nothing is bigger than logic. Nothing, my dear students, is bigger than logic. Anyone can tell you what is the law. You can yourself go and read section 91, you find out what is the law. Why, sir? Why? What is the reason behind this? If I have to call myself the best in my subject, I have to first make you the best in my subject. And the difference between you guys and any other CA student of the country will be, you will know the reason behind the provision. So shall we? Or shall I just tell you condition B, C and D and show you the calculation? Because if I don't tell you why unilateral is given only to residents, and I teach you the calculation and the other three conditions, you will solve your sums, you will get marks, and you will become a CA. Even if you don't know why only resident, why not for non-resident, you will become a CA. But a bad CA or an average CA, and I am not here to make you a CA, I am here to make you a good CA. At least some of you all who are interested. Some are like, bro, tu syllabus khatam karna baba, tere ko kaun bolta hai, humko CA bana de, that is all. That is also okay. Correct na? Huh? So shall we? Listen. Globally there are two principles of levy of tax. Principle of residence and principle of source. If we are making the condition of he to be resident in India, that means obviously for double taxation to arise, source will be outside India. See, if residence is also in India, source is also in India, where is the question of double taxation? If India mein we are putting the condition of residence, that means source will be outside. That means India is the home country and the second country is the host country. That means this person who is Indian is going out earning because source is there and bringing money here. Foreign money coming to India. Very good, bro. Proud of you. Because anyone who brings foreign money, we are proud of you. Now that country will levy tax on source. India will levy tax on residence. That will result in double tax. If we have a treaty, so together we will reduce your tax. Correct? But problem hai mitro, we don't have a treaty. And because we don't have a treaty, we will not be able to give you bilateral relief. We can't do anything. But dear assessee, we are still proud of you because you are bringing foreign money. Don't worry about what tax that country is levying. We can't do anything about that. Whatever I am levying, India. Whatever I am levying, I will reduce something from that tax liability to encourage these people who are bringing foreign money in India. Hashtag logic. Take the other way round. Non-resident. If the assessee was non-resident, we are saying no relief. Reason kya hai, sir? If you are non-resident, listen, if you are non-resident, that means India ka tax must come on source principle. If you are non-resident, then obviously the only way of tax getting attracted will be source, no? That means, can I say non-resident is a foreign guy who is coming and earning in India? That means he will take Indian money and go away. Ulta hai na, other way round. Other way round hai na. He will take and go away. India is source this time. Home is some other country. If your country did a treaty with us, we would have still complied, abided by the treaty. But if your country is not willing to cooperate, then go to hell, you and your country. Go to Bhad. Bhad is also a place. You search on Google Map, no, Gujarat-Pakistan border, you will find that place. Go to hell. Go to hell. You and your government. We will take our full tax. We will not give you any relief. Logic is clear. Unilateral relief will be available only and only to resident. 100 times I ask you, 100 times you will have to answer. Unilateral relief will be given only to residents. Clearam, mitro? Absolutely. Okay. Now, as I told you, the other three conditions are not really conditions, they are comedy. Unilateral relief is given to resident if you have income outside India. Wah, Modi ji, wah. 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 Understand, if there was no income outside India, first of all, you understand double tax only will not come. And if double tax is only not there, where is the question of relief? Any relief, unilateral or bilateral? Correct? They don't stop here. Next, they say, you have paid tax outside India. You have tax liability. What they are trying to say, please understand. This is your foreign income. It is taxable foreign income. Supposingly, I am a resident in India. Understand karo, I am a resident in India. I have foreign income. This is fulfilled, this is fulfilled. But that foreign income is in Dubai, where I have not paid any tax. So there is no double taxation. Why do I want relief, or why will I get relief? When these two conditions are together fulfilled, no? These two. This is when you can say that double taxation has arisen. Before this, so there is no double tax, so there is no question of relief. You cannot call them conditions for unilateral relief. These will give rise to double taxation, then only assessee will ask for relief. Correct? Hai? So what is the main condition to provide relief? Only condition to provide unilateral relief, assessee has to be a resident. And last, we will give you unilateral relief only if there is no DTAA between the two countries. Ha 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 ha. You know what they are trying to say? Listen, something like this. Assessee, assessee. Assessee. Oh, copycats. If there is a treaty between the two countries, no, then we will not give you unilateral relief. बोला ए don't give unilateral, I will take bilateral. The person who is asking for unilateral is asking because there is no treaty and bilateral is not available. Pagal log. I told you that these three conditions are not conditions. They are comedy. Time pass. So mitro, after today, if I ever ask you who gets unilateral relief, you can possibly ignore the other three also. Your focus, your full focus will be assessee has to be a resident. Unilateral relief will be given only to resident, and the reason, the logic is clear to everyone. And now how do we calculate? How do we calculate unilateral relief? Okay. Understand, I will give you two examples. One, an easy example, and two, a difficult example. And at the end of two examples, the concept of unilateral relief will be perfect in your brain. Mitro, at the end of two examples, the chapter will also get over. Because bilateral is also over. This is the last concept. And we move to questions. In order to do questions, there is a culture which is followed in my classroom. I will tell you about the culture when I start questions. Let's understand. First example, easy one. Mr. X, who is a resident. Why does this information matter? Why is it relevant that I am telling you that Mr. X is a resident? Because only if the assessee is resident, the assessee will be eligible for unilateral relief. Correct? Hai? Age 35 years. Now what is the relevance of this data? Whenever you will calculate tax, you will apply basic exemption of 2,50,000. Mr. X, resident, age 35 years, is giving you data. He has got Indian income of 8 lakh rupees. That means, can I say source of income was in India? And he has got foreign income, any country, country A, country B, country C, whichever country you want to take, 7 lakh rupees. That means this 7 lakh ka source is in a foreign country. And in that foreign country, he has paid 20% tax on this foreign income of 7 lakh. 20% tax. See, on principle of source, obviously, that country must have levied some tax, no? And then, the bad news in the life of this gentleman is that with this foreign country, India does not have any treaty. There is no tax treaty convention, there is no DTAA with this country. Bad news. This is the main bad news here. We have to learn the calculation of unilateral relief. First, we have to check, is there double taxation? Any assessee who has double taxation will talk or think or discuss about relief, no? Is there double taxation? Let us check that. This income of rupees 8 lakh, is it taxable in India? Lol, what a stupid question. He has residence and source both in India. So is it taxable? Yes. Is it taxable in the foreign country? No. Sir, why no? Because residence also in India, source also in India. Why or how will it be taxable in the foreign country? Obviously no. Correct hai? This 7 lakh. Acha, by the way, till now there is no double tax on India. Because 8 lakh was taxed only in India. No double tax. This 7 lakh. Is it taxable in India? Hey, kya yes? Kya yes? Foreign income hai. Kya yes? What yes? Is it taxable in India? You still saying yes? Yes. Because he is a resident. And resident has to pay tax on global income. Yes, this 7 lakh is taxable. And it will be stupid on my part to ask you, is it taxable in that country? Mitro, question has given you the tax paid already. That means, has 7 lakh been taxed in India as well as outside India? Yes, sir. That means, has the assessee suffered double tax? Yes, sir. Is this juridical double taxation? Same person, same income getting taxed twice. Yes, is this juridical? that means the assessee should get relief. Had it been economic, so there is no relief. Correct or no? ठीक है, assessee has suffered double taxation. Go do one thing, read the treaty, give him relief. Go read the treaty and give him relief. Go read the treaty, give relief. Huh? No relief, because there is no DTAA. And when there is no DTAA and bilateral relief is not available, the assessee is left with only one option: unilateral. Correct? We are here to learn the calculation of unilateral, but before you learn the calculation, there is only one thing that you have to check, and you can go to the calculation. Don't check also the other three things. Check only one thing. Which thing? Is the assessee a resident? Yes. So khatam. Assessee is eligible. Assessee is resident, main condition complied, assessee is going to be eligible. You know what, Mitro? The other three conditions we have already checked by now. First only I asked you, foreign income and tax paid in the foreign country means double taxation has taken place. And there is no treaty, therefore we have come to unilateral. So once you come to unilateral, you have to check only this condition, because the other three are unknowingly already checked. Is that clear? So finally, Mitro, yes, the assessee is eligible. Now that the assessee is eligible, we can go and do the calculation of unilateral relief. There are two ways in which I can actually do this calculation with you. First way, bro, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, mechanical way. Sixth step mein I will get my answer. I can just tell you, calculate this, calculate this, calculate this, calculate this, final answer, this is your relief. If I have to go by the mechanical system, I can always do it like that, give you the steps and it gets done. But I want you to understand the logic of the calculation. And the logic is very simple. You are paying tax in India, you are paying tax in a foreign country on the same income. Indian tax, foreign tax. Indian tax, foreign tax. Correct? This tax we cannot do anything because this government is not cooperating. This you will have to pay and come to India. We cannot do anything about it. We are really sorry that government is not cooperating. You agree with this? This is what I, as government of India, I am going to take from you. This is that amount from which I will grant you relief. Relief under section 91. The relief that I will give you will be the tax that you are paying me. That means, can I say your Indian tax? Or the tax that you have paid in the foreign country? Whichever is lower. That's the logic. Tax here or tax there, whichever is lower. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Take our India-Italy wala example. 30-40. Let's assume that there is no treaty between India and Italy. See, if there is a treaty, then we can't come under unilateral. Let's assume no treaty. So, this 40, we can't do anything about it. This is what you are paying me. Correct? Because you've already paid 40 there, do one thing, take relief, don't pay anything. You can't take relief of 40 and ask for refund of 10, no. Don't pay anything. But had it been the other way around, this was 40 and this was 30. So what we will do? This is what you are supposed to pay here. But whatever you have paid in the foreign country, reduce that from your liability, pay net. So what is your relief? Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. The tax in India or the tax in the foreign country, out of the two, whichever is lower. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the logic. As far as your foreign ka tax is concerned, now pay attention. Foreign ka tax to can be calculated in 1 second. Do you agree with this? Foreign ka income is given. Foreign ka rate is given. If income and rate both are given and I apply 7 lakh ka 20%, you know what? I have already got my foreign tax liability. But does my foreign tax liability directly become my relief? No. What is the logic? Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Foreign tax is ready. Indian tax ke liye we will have to work hard. We will have to calculate what is my Indian tax. And problem ये है that in India we cannot tax 8 lakh separate and 7 lakh separate. Do you agree with this? India does not levy tax income by income. India levies tax on net taxable total income. So whenever we will calculate your tax in India, you have the brain to understand that we will not calculate tax on 8 lakh or 7 lakh. In India, we will calculate tax on 15 lakhs. Correct or no? So we will have to calculate tax on 15 lakh and then proportionate calculation we will have to do. That if 15 lakh ka tax is this much, then 7 lakh ka tax is how much? That is how we will find out. That's the logic. See, steps to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Khatam, tata, bye bye. And you will still understand the calculation. It's very easy that way. But do you understand the logic? Indian tax, which will require you to do little hard work because you'll have to calculate total income, calculate total tax, and on that total tax, proportionately, what is the tax on the double tax income? You understand? And then foreign tax is readily available. Whichever is lower will become your relief. Understood? Let's see with the help of the steps. What is the calculation of unilateral relief? Step number 1. Calculate the net taxable total income in India. See, relief will come at the end. Before relief, if I ask you what is the NTTI, can you try that? I'll give you options. 8 lakh, 7 lakh, 15 lakh, none of them. What is the net taxable total income in India? Good morning, Modi ji fans. 8 plus 7. Mitro. 15 lakh. Sir, why? Sir, 8 is also taxable, 7 is also taxable. Relief we will give from your tax liability. But is 7 taxable in India on residence ka principle? Global income is taxable. Income will include everything. Relief we will give against your tax liability. समझा क्या? Step 2. Calculate the tax in India. Now listen carefully. This instruction has to be complied. We have to calculate tax in India. See, ultimately from this tax, we are going to get relief. We are doing our calculation only for that. But what am I asking you to calculate? If there is no relief, there will be tax on 15 lakhs. What is that tax? What is the tax on 15 lakh assuming there is no relief? आप समझा क्या? Listen. Don't start calculating. Some more instructions are there. Is that clear? First we will calculate the total tax. From that total tax, finally we will give relief. Now the next question is, sir, how to calculate? Nalayak log, that is the reason introduction ka chapter included tax rates. Why are tax rates taught at the beginning itself? Because it is required. And short-term memory loss have forgotten the tax calculation by now. Correct, no? Nahin? Let me see. Let me see. And last piece of instruction before you take your calculation ahead. Last piece of instruction. When we calculate tax in India, there are two possibilities, two options. Old regime and new regime. In an ideal environment, you have to calculate tax as per old, tax as per new, and make the assessee pay which one? Lower of the two, whichever is beneficial. Correct or no? But has this question given us any information on all the tax benefits that are to be foregone to fall in the new regime? Any information about SEZ ka deduction? Any information about chapter 6A ka deduction? Any information about house rent allowance? Any information about any of the tax benefits that are to be foregone? That family pension wala deduction or that MP MLA wala income or anything given? That means listen, the income as per old regime is also 15 lakhs and income as per new regime is also 15 lakhs. Okay. Why do we calculate old and new both? New mein rates are less. Rates in new are lower. But income is higher, no? Because we forego tax benefits. That is why we have to calculate both. When income is the same, do you have the brain to understand that the tax liability on the same income, if you calculate as per old and new, old will always be higher? Because new mein rates are less, only income is more, but here to income is same. And because of this, in this question, in this example, we will calculate tax only as per the new regime. Old regime is not required, because anyways the tax will be higher as per the old regime. Are you understanding? Yes? So chalo. What is the tax in India? As per the new regime. Nalayak log, you have to calculate. You have to calculate. And 15 lakh ke figure pe to fixed tax liability ka figure also I told you to memorize. Because in old regime after 10 lakh it is fixed 30%. But in new after 15 lakh it is fixed 30%. So what is the fixed tax at 15 lakh? And what's your final answer? If I ask you the tax in India, what's your answer? $187,500. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. I like your participation in class, but wrong hai to wrong hai na. I can't tell you that right hai just because you are cooperating with me. Wrong hai. Now you tell me why it is wrong. कोई तो रीजन होगा. सर न्यू रेजिम में you have only taught us 15 lakh के ऊपर memorize 187,500, like old regime में भी memorize 10 lakh के ऊपर 1,12,500 और 1 lakh 10 और 1 lakh. Then why am I wrong? Despite I said that 187,500. हाँ तो प्रथमेश जी, don't just type in the chat box calculate and बोलो. There is no one around you, there is no noise, though give the answers. Calculate. हाँ राइट है ध्रुविन बेटा, कैलकुलेट. चैट बॉक्स में आंसर तो राइट है बट कैलकुलेट. हिरल, why are you wrong? Tell me no. Chat box is private chat box. No one can see what they said. Why is 187,500 wrong? क्या? Because 187,500 is basic tax. Basic tax is not what you pay to the government. Basic tax नहीं होता है. 187,500 is the basic tax at 15 lakh in new regime. Yes or no? Correct? This is less than 5 lakh. So first we will give rebate. Yes or no? माथा rebate माथा.
इसमें नहीं आएगा न्यू में.
Why? अरे less than 5 lakh no? Resident individual less than 5 lakh. तो rebate आएगा ना? हाँ, don't get excited. Some are so excited. Tax again. 187,500. 187. Less than 5 lakh. Give rebate. अरे पागल rebate. You have to check this amount. But over excitement की दुकान. There are so many people. And then they say ICAI does not give marks. Dharna Pradarshan. Studying direct tax is like getting married. People were तो wondering, sir 187,500 कैसे wrong हुआ? Confusion तो वो भी है. Because you forgot cess. And देखो, surcharge में likelihood of forgetting is more because it may come, may not come. Cess तो will always come. If you forget cess only, then mistake is yours, no? Correct? Why will rebate not come? Income is more than 5 lakh. You don't have to see the tax amount. ये surcharge आएगा ना, income is more than 10 lakhs. Surcharge will come, no? अरे 10 lakh cross हुआ ना? नहीं? नहीं? Why नहीं? हाँ?
50 lakhs.
हाँ. I want those confident answers, sir. सुबह दिमाग नहीं. Surcharge does not come after 10 lakh, it comes after 50 lakhs. देखो कंफ्यूज करने के लिए I will speak any nonsense. But you should have that confidence, no? No surcharge. Sir, no rebate, no surcharge, then to 187,500 is correct only, no? Nahi na. Cess will to come, no? So you add 4% and do you understand the tax in India will be 1,95,000. Correct hai? This, ladies and gentlemen, is the most important step of the entire calculation, the step called average rate of tax. If you remember the logic by now it is possible that you've forgotten the logic, Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. So we have to find out the Indian tax. See, on total income of 15 lakh, we are paying total tax of 1,95,000. A problem kya hai? This 15 lakh got taxed at slabs. Some went at 0%, thoda 5%. This is new regime. So 10 also came, 15 came, 20 came, 25 came. All these rates applied. So on an average, what rate we apply? See, our intention is to find out on 7 lakh what tax took place in India. That's our intention. But problem ye bhi hai that we don't know that 7 lakh went in lower slabs or upper slabs. You can never say no, sir, 7 lakh went in basic exemption, 8 lakh went in basic exemption. Ultimately, basic exemption was taken against 15 lakhs. Arey, on money, there is never any name written, no. Sonam Gupta bewafa hai. There is never any name written on money, no. Mitro, you understand what I am trying to say? So that is why we will have to average out. And how do you find that average? If on total income of 15 lakh, I have paid tax of 195, then what is my average rate of tax? 2 decimals normally. Here it is coming, I think, to round figure of 13%. No? तुम लोग कुछ बोलेगा कि नहीं बोलेगा यार? Is it coming to round figure of 13%? If it is not round figure, then you have to take up to 2 decimals. Is that understood? What is the significance of this 13? Now if I ask you, what is rate of tax in India? So it is not 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. India ka tax rate is 13%. If you take 15 lakhs on your calculator, that's the total income of the assessee, and you apply 13%, you directly get the Indian tax liability. Yes or no? Our intention is Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. But Indian tax has been levied at what rate? 13%. We can't find out separate tax of 7 lakh. We have to find out total income ka total tax and then take the average. If we do 15 lakh ka 13%, do we get 195? That means in India, we have paid 13% tax on 15 lakh. Pay attention to one by one my lines. We have paid 13% of 15 lakhs, correct? That means I have paid 13% on 8 lakh and 13% on 7 lakh. That means I have paid 13% of 8 and 13% of 7, because I don't know whether you know this much maths. 8 into 13% plus 7 into 13% is 15 into 13%. So if 15 ka 13% is my tax liability in India, that means this is how my incomes have been taxed in India. Is this understood, the most important step? Because what will happen now? This is the tax that you have paid on 8 lakh. Has this 8 lakh also suffered tax in foreign country? 8 lakh also suffered tax in foreign country? Yes ke nahi? No. तो ignore कर. But 7 के ऊपर India में you are paying tax of 13%, and on that same 7 you have also paid foreign tax, and therefore the assessee will get relief of whichever is lower. That's the logic, and that is why average rate of tax becomes very important. Is the concept of average rate clear to everyone? So total income, total tax, average rate. Have we got our Indian tax rate now? Yes. Now we will take our foreign rate, and this is the best thing in your life, because this will always be given to you in the question. If your question does not give you foreign tax rate, if your question does not give you foreign tax rate, then write a note to the paper checker. तू चोर, तेरा बाप चोर, तेरा खानदान मरे, तेरे बच्चे. You write a note to the person who is checking your paper. In that note, you also curse the paper checker. Tell the paper checker that I pray to the Almighty that your children appear for more difficult exams and never clear. ये सच में मत कर देना पागल. Don't actually do it, huh? बोलना मत that sir had told us to do this. And sir has told you to do a lot of things. How many things you are following very, very sincerely? Ask yourself. Foreign rate will always be given. What is given to you? I only gave you 20%. बस मित्रों, हो गया. The logic was already told to you. We are going to give you relief. You tell me, at Indian rate के foreign rate? Indian rate or foreign rate? Which will be, what will be your relief? Indian tax or foreign tax? Indian, wrong answer Amit. Foreign, wrong answer. The whole concept was what? Ramayana संपली आता म्हणतं राम को. The whole concept was what? Tax in India and tax in the foreign country, whichever is lower. Arey, I told you no. 30 here, 40 there, then 30. And 40 here, 30 there, then still 30. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. So, acha, in this case, Amit, my question was not in this example. My question was in general, because this is an example. This is not a sum. When we solve sum, we take one of them, whichever is lower. But in concept, we have to write Indian rate or foreign rate, whichever is lower. And in this case, it is. Acha, when you said Indian, you meant because Indian is lower. Okay, appreciated. Indian or foreign, whichever is lower. Is that clearly visible now? And as I told you, step number 6 mein to we will get our relief. Very, very easy to calculate our relief. What is finally my relief under section 91? Doubly taxed income. Included in my net taxable total income into the lower rate that you have computed in the previous step. Doubly taxed income included in NTTI into the lower rate. Doubly taxed income included in NTTI into the lower rate. One thing we are sure that the relief will be available at the lower of the two rate, which is 13% decided in the previous step. But the question now is, on which income this relief will be available? I'll give you 4 options. A, 8 lakh rupees. B, 7 lakh rupees. C, 15 lakh rupees, because 15 lakh is the total income. D, 0 rupees. Which income you will get relief? Will you get relief on 8 lakh? No. Why no? Because 8 lakh has been taxed only in India. Correct? We have to give relief only of your doubly tax income. Which is that income on which double tax is paid? 7 lakh. And thus, relief will be available only on that income on which double tax was levied. Is that clear? So what is finally our relief? Doubly tax income into Indian rate or foreign rate, whichever is lower. India ka tax, foreign ka tax, whichever is lower wala rate. Clear hai? After this, whatever has to be done, that is your romance with your calculator, the most romantic story in the planet. I am not interested in how your calculator derives 91,000. I am not interested. What am I interested in? Have we understood the concept? Have we understood how to calculate doubly tax income into lower of the two rates? Correct hai? Have we understood how to calculate relief? Okay. With this, calculation of relief is over. But there is a step number 7. What is your final tax liability? This step you will do only and only and only if you are asked. If the question is asking you relief, you stop at step number 6. Don't be over smart. Don't show your knowledge. The person who is checking your paper does not have that much knowledge. हिंदी में जितना पूछा उतना बोल. Do not show your extra knowledge. If they ask you relief, you stop at relief. But there will be questions which tell you what is the final tax liability of the assessee. Come on. You can give me the answer in amount, in words, in step, in any mathematical equation, anyway. What will be the final tax liability? 153. Amit wrong. Dhruvin right. Some are like, sir, scroll karo na upar. Scroll karo. Okay. Here is your entire calculation. थोड़ा सा zoom out हुआ है. You are still able to see? Yes? If I don't get any relief, this will be my tax liability before relief. And from this tax liability, I am eligible to get relief of 91,000. Can I say the tax liability before any relief minus the relief finally available? 1,04,000. Is that clear? Whoever got the wrong answer, is that clear now? Okay. Now listen. Be very careful. Institute plays dirty games with students in exams. There is a student who calculated right up to here and got 1,04,000 as the final tax. Any student who got 1,04,000 as the final tax, can I say has made no mistake? If this till this step you are right, that means in between steps you have not gone wrong anywhere. 1,04,000 in the MCQ is option A. What is 1,04,000? Option A. So which one is the right answer of the MCQ? Option A, Matha. Question was calculate the relief and 91,000 was given in option B. That will hurt badly. Those who don't know concepts and lose marks, no. They don't deserve any sympathy. But students like these, poor guys, your institute has not tested whether you know the law or you know the concept. They have tested whether you have read the question. Let's be clear. If the question is on relief, this is your answer. And if the question is on final tax, this is your answer. You get marks for answering what is asked. You don't get marks for your knowledge. And this is why many a times what happens is, in direct tax, the student is very, very good. Concepts mein to baap hai, I am telling you. But unfortunately, the marks do not reflect the talent of the student because of these silly, stupid mistakes. Or in other words, studying direct tax is like getting married. Every time you think you are right, she will find out some mistake. She con? ICAI, mother body. You think you are right, but somewhere you have gone wrong only. Samjha? When we had a paper like ISCA in CA final, paper 6 mein, old course mein, it was ISCA. In ISCA, you know what was the good thing? At least people knew that they don't know anything. घर पे आके people used to say, I came home after my ISCA paper, I told my mother I will fail. I will get between 28 and 30 and I got 29. Between बोला मतलब between आया. Exact between आया. I knew. But what is the bad thing about direct tax? That you think you know it. You think you have written the right answer. You tally with your friend, bola uska bhi ban. You come home and again solve right answer, and you are not focusing that the question was asking relief, not the final tax. So marks to nahi mila na. Then you say that sir, institute is not giving marks. And there are a plenty of YouTube ka nakli hero, पैसा देके सब्सक्राइबर खरीदा हुआ, 5 rupees 1 subscriber. So if you have 5 lakh rupees to invest, you can get 1 lakh subscribers overnight. And in my subject तो specially नकली fake YouTube का heroes are working. And then how to gather audience? ड्रामा करके, ये देखिए इंस्टीट्यूट ने मार्क्स नहीं, अरे इंस्टीट्यूट ने पूछा क्या, तुमने लिखा क्या, मार्क्स कैसे मिलेगा? You cannot sit on the street and abuse your own mother body. That is not my culture. If you tell me, no sir, after 10 o'clock, 1 घंटा और wait करके explain certain things to me individually, I will do that. If you tell me to repeat something, I will do that. If you want me to cooperate in any academic matter with you, I will cooperate. If you tell me that sit with us on a dharna against institute and abuse your own mother body, I will not do that. I know where to support you, where not to. And I think the sensible students also understand it does not make sense. I am a CA because of ICAI. Tomorrow you will become CA because of the same institute. You are not doing the course for institute or for any coaching organization. You are doing it for yourself. That day when you tell this to yourself, you will not get unnecessarily distracted by all the nonsense that is going on. They are only demeaning the course, nothing else. But fair enough. सबका अपना अपना choice होता है. Somebody who has quality does not need to do all that, but somebody who has got only that as a way or methodology of attracting students, तो बेचारा उसको भी घर चलाना है, तो let them do it that way. Let people do however they want to. Have we understood how we can get marks, how we can lose? एक चीज होती है understanding the calculation. Understood. Understanding the logic, Indian or foreign, whichever is lower. Sir, understood. But sir, we can still lose marks. Is that also understood? So look carefully what is the question, accordingly give your answer. Correct hai? Is unilateral relief ka calculation and the logic clear? Now that it is clear, I will take second example, a more difficult example this time, to become perfect about unilateral relief. And mitro, that will also bring some good news. Chapter over. Dhada sampla, padam tirnu, over, khatam. English mein chapter over. Forget, I know multiple languages, no, so I again and again talk in multiple languages. Chapter will get over after this second example. Question answer, of course, we will be doing. All of you all have the question book, no? Except those students, of course, who took enrollment very late and then their books are still in process. Otherwise, those who had taken early enrollment, your books are with you now. Okay. I always tell students that don't wait for the last day. Still, last day ke liye whoever waits, 2-3 lectures, we don't need the books because we do introduction, we do the full chapter over the course of our syllabus. You will observe that I never use the book. I never need the book in class. Full Income Tax Act, Control C, Control V. But for questions, we will use the book. The question book should always be available around you whenever we are doing questions of any chapter. ठीक है? Example 2. Mr. X, resident, age 35 years. तो इधर तक तो there is no change in my example. ठीक है. Indian income, 12 lakh rupees. Last time it was 8 lakh, this time it is 12 lakh. Foreign income, 8 lakh rupees. So last time it was 7, this time it is 8. It's only a change in numbers. So you all have that much brain, no? Okay, same numbers will never come in exam. It was a concept, numbers will always change. This time the foreign country ka tax rate is 18%. So last time in my first example, foreign rate was 20, this time it is 18. So you cannot question the question, you have to answer the question. Question is giving 18% and I told you foreign rate will always be given. In fact, if not given, the question is wrong. The foreign rate is given. Okay. And there is no DTAA. Mitro, if I stop here, then this example and the previous example is same. Sir, only thing that has changed is the number. 8 lakh has become 12, 7 lakh has become 8 lakh, 20% tax has become 18%. Otherwise, the age is same, residential status is same, assessee ka name is also same. You understand, this is the same example. Till now, there is nothing difficult. If I stop here, I can tell you to solve and give it to me. But the story has a twist. Twist. The twist is this, that this 8 lakh, this is the extra information. this 8 lakh का foreign income is income in the nature of royalty. Sir, every time I ask people in any classroom what is royalty, students say, sir, वो copyright पे मिलता है ना, sir, वो patent पे मिलता है ना, sir, वो trademark पे, sir, that these are examples. You earn royalty on patent, trademark, drawing, design, copyright, any intangible asset. समझा क्या? वो example है bro. Are you understanding? What is royalty? Of course, Mumbai ka students, see, this is not that royalty. It was a nightclub in Bandra, then it shut down. We are not talking about that. अच्छा, अपन तो सेंट्रल मुंबई वाला ना, we belong to the trist culture. खैर, anyways, we are not talking about the nightclub वाला royalty. We are talking about the royalty in finance whenever I use intangible asset belonging to another person. If I use your tangible asset, land, building, plant, machinery, I will give you rent. But if I use your intangible asset, I will give you royalty. Royalty is the rent on usage of intellectual property rights. Intangible asset se bhi more appropriate term is IPR. That's royalty. So this foreign income is in the nature of royalty. Is it possible that there is an author who has written a book, but no one is buying his book in India? An author like Chetan Bhagat. You know Chetan Bhagat? No? The Rakhi Sawant of Indian literature. Seriously, I am telling you. You ever read his books, you will come to know what I am talking about. Okay? Once upon a time, he was a very good author. When he wrote 5 Point Someone, his first book, superb book. That book is the book on which the movie 3 Idiots was made. Then he wrote One Night at a Call Center. Superb book, but horrible movie. Salman Khan. Hello. Hello करके एक movie था. No one knows also about it. Then he wrote a superb book, 3 Mistakes of My Life. उसके ऊपर there was a movie in Bollywood made Kai Poche. Sushant Singh Rajput was in one of the lead roles out there. Then he wrote, I think, the best book of his career, 2 States, which also is also the name of the movie. But after that, what happened to him? I don't know. He wrote a book called Revolution 2020, rubbish. What Young India Wants, rubbish. And finally, he came to writing a book called Half Girlfriend. I am not joking. One of India's once upon a time best authors has written a book called Half Girlfriend. And as ridiculous as Bollywood is, they have ended up making a movie also of the same name, if I am not wrong. Correct है ना? कुछ भी बना. So this author का book no one is buying in India now. So he has sold his book where? The rights of his book matlab. Where? Outside India. And when you are getting royalty, so I am not teaching you. I am not teaching you. I am telling you, in our income tax law, there is a section 80 QQB. Deductions under chapter 6A. Deductions under chapter 6A. These are deductions that we get from our gross total income. From this royalty income, you are eligible for a deduction of 3 lakh. I am not teaching you. I am telling you. Our syllabus is divided in volume 1, 2, 3. Volume 3 contains the heads of income, clubbing set of deductions. Last chapter in the textbook that I have given to you is deductions. One day I am going to cover this chapter with you. Going by the sincerity and discipline of some of the students, I can very well guess that there will be a lot of students who will not attend this. So tum hi marega. My CA ka degree is not going to get affected. Because if you don't know this, you can't solve a sum on DTAA, which is your guarantee of 6 marks. Today I can't teach you 80 QQB ka calculation. I am telling you that 3 lakh ka deduction will be allowed. Calculation will be taught when I do deductions. Royalty income ke samne you are eligible to take 3 lakh ka deduction. Today is not the time when I can teach you the calculation. Is that clear? Everyone? But this is the extra date. With this, listen, our steps cannot change. Steps will be that only. What were the steps? Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Indian tax, we have to do 3 steps. It is not easily available. We have to first find out total income, then we have to find out total tax, then we have to find out average tax. Correct or no? And then compare with the foreign rate 18%, which is already given to us. Whichever is lower. Steps will not change. So, step number 1. Acha, by the way, is the assessee eligible for unilateral relief? Why? What is the only thing that you are going to check? Assessee is a resident, because income outside India, tax outside India, no DTAA, all that is checked. We have to check only that the assessee is a resident. Correct or no? Chaliye. So step number 1. Do you remember the first step? Only if we calculate the total income, we will be able to calculate the total tax. NTTI in India. And here is where trouble strikes, Mitro, because this time there will not be one income ka figure, there will be two income ka figures. Income as per the traditional tax regime and income as per 115 BAC. Assessee is individual, so eligible for the new taxation regime. Last time there was no information about deductions, so income as per old and new was same. Bolo yes or no? But this time the income will be different. So what is the income as per old and what is the income as per new? Come on. Will 8 lakh be included in my total income in both regimes? 7 lakh also included in both regimes. Starting ke liye to you have to include. I hope you understand it is not an exemption, it is a deduction. So you first include, then give the deduction. So what is your gross total income under both regimes? 15 lakhs. In the old regime, you will take 80 QQB ka deduction and make this 12 lakh. Because you are 12 plus 8, 20. मैं last time का 8 and 7 ले लिया, sorry. 12 plus 8, 8 lakh 7 lakh का last example वाला था. This is 12 and 8. Indian income of 12 lakh, foreign income of 8 lakh. Will both of them be included in our total? Yes. And will we get deduction in the old regime? Yes. So accordingly, 20 minus 3, 17 lakh rupees will be our income as per old regime. Correct? What is the income as per new regime? Come on. 20. Why full 20? Because this time we will not be eligible for deduction. And this is why example 2A is difficult, because you have to do both calculations. Old and new. In example 1, there was no deduction. Mitro. So directly we calculated as per the new regime. But when there are deductions, you have to calculate both. Okay? Tell me the second step. On the net taxable total income that we have calculated, can I say second step is asking us to calculate the tax in India? Mitro? Yes. Do you understand? In this old regime, we will be calculating tax as per old slabs, but on 17 lakhs. And here, tax as per new regime, but on 20 lakhs. Is that clear? We have to calculate both the tax liabilities. This is why we studied tax rates in introduction का chapter. कुछ समझा क्या? How will we calculate tax? How will we calculate tax in old regime? देखिए, you can sit and make those 250 or 5 lakh, but that is not what a CA final student does. How will we calculate? Shall I tell you or you will tell me? Old regime के अंदर what amount will be suffering? 30% direct.
About 10 lakhs.
That is 7 lakh rupees. 7 lakh ka 30% plus
1,12,500.
Why? Because the assessee is normal individual, less than 60 years. That will be our basic tax. So 7 lakh ka 30% plus 1,12,500. Yes or no? Is that done?
Then plus 4% cess.
Plus cess. There will be no rebate because income is more than 5 lakh. No surcharge because less than 50 lakh. Correct? Correct? So add 4% cess. 7 lakh ka 30% plus 1,12,500. Whose total पे 4% cess? Yes, please. What is the tax as per old regime? 3 lakh? 335, 400. Okay. Mitro, I don't memorize questions and their answers. Huh? I memorize only the law. And that also, I have not actually memorized, but years and years of doing the same thing. subconscious mind में it got memorized. If this answer 335 400 turns out to be wrong कल की डेट पे, and after 4 lectures you come and tell me, sir, this amount is not matching, there was a mistake, I will give you 2 tight slaps first. Why were you sleeping in class? You are not having paid assistants here. Everyone has to calculate. No one is doing a favor on anyone by coming to class. You are doing a favor on yourself. Please calculate. 335 400, is it right? And 20 lakhs mein how will we calculate? This time we will apply 30% of 10. 5 lakhs. 5 lakh ka 30%, because till 15 lakhs it is fixed 187 500. So 5 lakh ka 30%, that is 150 plus 187 500. That's how much? 337 500 plus 4% cess. What do you get finally? 3,51,000. Excellent. Fantastic. Everyone is with me? Don't rush ahead, because if some of you all have gone ahead by getting this calculation, it is possible that you have made a mistake. If there is any student of this class who has decided that this is lower, so ignore the new regime and go as per the lower, then you have already made a mistake. Reason kya hai? I'll tell you. If this is lower, that means average rate also is lower. If this is higher, that means average rate is also higher. So relief ka rate will also be higher. We are not interested in this tax liability. We will get relief. After relief, we will get our final tax liability. In that, whichever is lower, we have to choose. So old and new have to be taken till the last step. I hope you are clearly understanding what I am saying. Okay, chaliye. At least next step, the most important step of the calculation. Do you remember? We have to find out our average rate. And you have the brain to understand that here average rate will be this upon this, and here it will be this upon this. Because 335 400 is on 17 and 351 is on 20. So what is the average rate as per old regime? What is the average rate as per new regime? 2 decimals, please. Average rate, always 2 decimals. Mechanical work set apart. Are you understanding what we are doing also now? $19.73. What is the digit after 3? चला गया, हाँ, छोड़ो. 7-3 what? 7-9, तो 7-3 बराबर है. Then it is right, because if it is 5 or more, then this has to be changed. And new regime में 17.55. Is that clear? 19.73. Are you 100% sure? 19.73 and 17.55. Everyone? Shall we? Fantastic. What is our next step? Now that we have found the Indian tax rate, what is going to be our next step? We will compare this Indian with foreign rate of, which is always given to us, 18%. And here comes our logic. India ka tax or foreign ka tax, whichever is lower. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Correct hai? What is lower? When we choose lower also, no, we will have to choose regime by regime. If I observe the old regime, so Indian tax is 19.73, but foreign is 18. So what is lower of the two? So I get relief at 18%. I get relief at 18%. Correct hai? But in the new regime, India ka tax is 17.55. And this, if we compare with 18, then what is lower of the two? 17.55. Correct or no? We have to choose whichever is lower, like this. This or this, whichever is lower. And this or this, whichever is lower. Are samjha kya? Hello? Very good. And in no time, do you realize we have reached our relief calculation? Relief under section 91. But this relief also has to be calculated regime by regime. How much relief I will get if I am in old regime? How much relief I will get in new regime? I am also clear about the fact that old regime का relief is 18% and new regime का relief is 17.55%. Are we also clear about that fact? करेक्ट है, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट है. बिकॉज वी हैव आइडेंटिफाइड नो, ओल्ड में 18, न्यू में 17.55. मित्रों, इफ आई डिड एग्जाम्पल 2 विथ यू, इट इज फॉर दिस. This is the only reason why we are doing example 2. You observe carefully, example 2 is only a practice of what we have done. This was our relief ka concept. Once one example done, we could have directly gone to the questions. No, all the questions are going to include these concepts. If we are doing example 2, it is only and only for what will be your income. What will be the income? One thing is for sure, even if I try to fool around, one thing is for sure, the Indian income of 12 lakh is not going to be eligible. Even if I start creating nonsense MCQs, बोला 12 lakh के 18 lakh के 20 lakh के 8 lakh के, all that nonsense. Correct है? 12 lakh is not eligible. If at all we are going to get relief, we will be getting relief on our foreign income because that is the income on which double tax is applied. That means, can I say we can take 8 lakh as foreign income for both regimes? Yes or no? Foreign income 8 lakh, yes, no? No. Amit, अभी no बोल रहा है ना, तो reason दे. Are there people around you washing भांडी बर्तन? अच्छा, what's your answer for new regime? New regime, that means 8 lakh is right.
Yeah.
But old regime mein you are saying no, you are saying 5 lakhs. Okay. Is there any student of the class who feels कि नहीं sir, both regimes में 8 lakh आना चाहिए? Because when I said sir foreign income is 8 lakh, so you should take 8 and 8. Some students said yes sir. इसलिए I am asking. Any student who feels that it should be 8 lakh for old and new both? देख, foreign income is 8 lakh. Everyone in this class agrees that here you will get relief of 8 lakh foreign income, 17.55%. This is not a discussion also. In the foreign country, we have paid tax on 8 lakh. In India, we have paid tax on 8 lakh. That is the 8 lakh which has suffered double tax. Obviously, 12 lakh pe we will not get relief because it has suffered tax only in one country, India. You are right. And everyone is right. And this was never the doubt also of anybody in the class. The discussion is on this. Those who think 8 lakh will unmute themselves and shout loudly 8 lakhs now. No one. Those who think 5 lakh will unmute themselves and shout loudly. See, मैं क्या बोलता हूं? We have to get up early every day. Bekar life. Every day, get up and get to work. Early, everyone around us sleeping. For many a time during the lockdown with me, so what has happened? I am taking lecture and people all around are sleeping. So I used to purposely shout loudly. Why should I be the only person getting disturbed early in the morning? You should also get disturbed. So let the people around you get disturbed. If you are confident about your answer, you will unmute yourself and shout loud enough that even your neighbors get disturbed. Shout loudly 5 lakhs now. इस वॉल्यूम में I understood everyone participated, but इस वॉल्यूम में your neighbors will definitely not get disturbed, but that's okay. It's okay. जब सुबह सुबह एनर्जी लेवल भी उतना ही we have in our body, this मित्रों will be 5 lakh. And why? If you come back to my example 1, in words I taught you the relief का calculation. Doubly tax income included in NTTI into the lower rate. See, for old as well as new, we have taken the lower rate, at least that is not a problem. Indian foreign, whichever is lower, old and new regime by regime. When I am calculating my income as per new regime, is full 8 lakh a part of my NTTI? New regime में my NTTI is 20 lakh. तो foreign का full 8 lakh is included in 20. That means foreign का full 8 lakh के ऊपर I am suffering tax. तो new regime में I am taking full 8 lakh. No debate or discussion. But now let's talk about the old regime. I paid tax only on 17 lakhs. Can you see the old regime ka income? Arey, why 17? My total income was 20. No, then why 17? Because sir, I took this deduction. And now comes the most important line that I am going to tell you. The deduction that I took was taken against this income. In this 17, India ka full 12 is included. And when we included foreign ka 8, so we subtracted 3 and included only 5 in that. The most important line which I will repeat, the deduction was taken against the foreign income, and you have to agree with this. And that is why when I find out the amount included in NTTI, foreign mein earned 8 lakhs. Foreign mein tax paid also on 8 lakh. But have you paid a tax in India on that full 8 lakhs? Nahi na sir. Listen, 12 lakh has been taxed only in India. You agree with this? 5 lakh, which 5? 8 mein se 5 has been included in our India ka 17. That means India mein you have paid tax, foreign also you have paid tax. So 5 pe to we will take only, 5 to we have taken. The discussion is about the 3 lakh which we are not taking. Us 3 lakh pe, have you paid tax in the foreign country? Yes sir, because foreign mein full 8 lakh was taxed. But have you paid tax in India? Nahi na sir. At the time of paying tax, you have taken the deduction. And therefore, we will take only 5 lakhs. Understood? Understood the importance of the word included. Even if your foreign income is 8 lakh, but in NTTI you included only 5 lakhs. Because 3 lakh ka deduction you have taken. Is this clear? And therefore, your relief will be calculated only on 5 lakhs. ये concept था. In this concept के लिए, I did the second example for you. But with this concept, over years of my experience, I have come across some really bright and talented students who, if work sincerely and do justice with their talent, will definitely bring about some change in the country as a whole one day. And I have had some beautiful doubts. I would like to share them with you. Deductions are of different types. There is something called expense related deduction, where you have to spend money to get deduction, like your life insurance premium 80C or medical insurance premium 80D or donation 80G. You have to spend money, pay money, get deduction, pay money, get deduction, pay money, get deduction. That deduction, listen carefully, can be taken against anything. Supposingly, in this question, 3 lakh rupees was not royalty ka deduction, it was 80G, donation ka deduction. What was it? 80G. So that is not compulsory that you have to take against 8 lakh. That can be taken against anything. This will still be 17 because I have taken deduction. When I will come to this calculation, I will say 8 lakhs. Why? Because 3 lakh was taken against Indian income, so full foreign income eligible. The concept that we have taken here applies only to income related deduction. Sir, what is income related deduction? An income related deduction, like royalty, is a deduction which can be taken only against this particular income. It is related to that specific income. If you have royalty income, then you are eligible, otherwise you are not eligible. So if I have to take 3 lakh, I have to take it against 8 lakh. If I had an option that I can take my deduction against 12 or 8, then I will preferably take against 12 so that my full 8 lakh is eligible. Aap samjha kya? In fact, there have been questions where question included 80C, 80D, and in the suggested answer, institute has taken 80C, 80D against Indian income and brought full foreign income here. Because you have the choice. But in a deduction which is particularly available only against a particular income, in that you don't have a choice. This 3 lakh ka deduction can be taken only against royalty. So you don't have a choice. Is that clear? That means if it is related to foreign income, then only you will reduce. Otherwise you will not reduce. That also means if you have an option, then first choice we will give against Indian income. Is that clear? Try to make your full foreign income eligible. This is something that I only used to explain every time. Then one day, a very, very intelligent student came and asked me, sir, what if this 12 lakh is also royalty? Full 20. Ultimately, he is an author, no? So he can get royalty from everywhere. Brain dekha, brain. 80 QQB ka deduction can be taken against royalty income, whether Indian or foreign. If 12 is also royalty, that means you have the permission to take deduction against 12 also. 3 lakh is per annum ka limit against royalty income. If 12 is also royalty, then I will obviously give first preference to 12 and still make full 8 lakh eligible. In my question, this 12 lakh was not royalty, only 8 was royalty, so 3 can be taken only against 8. If 12 was also royalty, I will take against 12. If there was 80C, 80D, I will take against 12. I will always give first preference to my Indian income. But you saw the brain of that student? And iske aage I met one more intelligent student. When I gave this answer, what did I say? Sir, dekho, if this is 12, no, then you will, if this is royalty, no, then you will give against this first. Clear hai? And then came another superb doubt. Sir, this is also royalty. This is also royalty. So first preference Indian income. That is understood. Always take deduction against Indian income first if possible. But sir, this is only 1 lakh. तो क्या करने का सर? Take only 1 lakh का deduction and don't take the remaining deduction. पागल है क्या? You will not take deduction only. That means you want to stay in the new regime, no? Then stay in the new regime only, no direct. So what will we do? First we will give 1 lakh ka deduction against Indian income. So Indian income will become 0. But we still have 2 lakh ka allowed deduction. Then that we will have to take against this 8 lakh. And in that case, this amount will become 6 lakhs. To summarize, first try to take deduction against Indian income if possible. But if the deduction is of such a nature that it can be taken only against foreign income, against Indian it is not allowed only, then you have no choice. But first preference you will give to Indian income so that you can make maximum foreign income eligible for relief. Is the discussion clear? Everyone? And for those of you all who first said, "Ke sir, dono ke andar 8 lakh we will be writing because foreign income is 8 lakh. Is it clear to those students also why we have taken 5 lakhs in the old regime and 8 in the new regime? Everyone is clear? Example 2 and understood why we took the difficult example 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Deviyo, Sajjano and Mitro, the news for the day is chapter 2 of your syllabus, double taxation avoidance agreement. देखो index में तो it is chapter 2. If I tell you 43 chapters, तो it is chapter 2. I am counting introduction as a chapter, no? Khatam. But not completely. We will now go to the questions. तो अभी ढूंढो घर पे किधर है. Start search and seizure operation. Find out your question book because we are immediately starting the questions.